السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه والتابعين وتابعيهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, today it is Saturday the 24th, we said the 24th of Jumada Al-Aakhira 1445, and this matches the 6th of January 2024. And this is our session number 36 of مختصر طريق الهجرتين by Al-Imam Ibn Al-Qayyim عليه رحمة الله تعالى. And I apologize for those brothers who are online, maybe waiting for some time. I wanted to begin earlier than that, but I had an issue that I had to deal with, just a walk-in, so I have to deal with that. I couldn't leave it. So last time we stopped for a few weeks, maybe three weeks or so. The last time it was in Jumada Al-Ula, 26th of Jumada. So يعني three weeks. So last thing we did was he was talking about الظالم لنفسه. He was talking about المقربين, and he was talking about al-abrar and how the day of each one of them looks like, focusing on al-muqarrabin, right? Those who are brought closer. And one of the things that lastly he was saying that in terms of ubudiyah, worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal and servitude to Him Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, they are pleased with Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. They have more of His love and more longing to meet with Him Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, shawq. And then they have a second level, and that is ash-shukr, thanking Him, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And He is talking about al-aqdar التي تصيبهم بغير اختيارهم, the qadr that happens to them without their choosing, right? This is the qadr of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. They are pleased with it. They are thankful to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for it. That's even a higher level. And you have the level of the muqtasideen, he calls it, those who are just doing the least, where they will not be sinful, and that is maqam as-sabr, right? So you have that maqam of you being pleased with what Allah destined for you. Higher than that is for you to thank Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for whatever He destined for you. And the least, the minimum that you cannot go beyond or less than that, if you go less than that, you are falling into sinning. That is to be patient with the qadr of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. From there, he was saying that every station here, it may include other stations. The higher station includes lesser stations within it, right? And he was emphasizing the fact that the one who is treading the path to Allah, those stations, he should not be like sabr and rida and shukr. He should not be looking at them as like the physical stations, as if you're traveling to Ottawa, where you passed Oshawa, you left Oshawa behind you now, and you are starting something new, and you have nothing to do with Oshawa anymore because it's past in terms of time and location. Those stations, they're not like that, right? So you have shukr, for instance. It includes within it al-rida, and it includes within it as-sabr, being pleased and being patient. You already have them if you reached the level of ash-shukr. And we cannot imagine someone who's thankful who did not pass through patience and يعني pleasure, right? الرضا. That's how he is saying. So يعني he said is like a businessman, right, who is doing business. So his profits now, they do not come just from one deal, from the different types of dealings that he uses. Everyone has a little profit, the other one has a little profit, and then the profits add up, and then he has a total then, right? Like that. Those stations are like this. And actually we did this point in the Iksir, the summary of Madarij al-Salikin. He did that before he started talking about al-maqamat. So if you remember, the first thing we started with was al-yaqadha. You know how someone is asleep, he is not aware of this path to Allah subhanahu. Then he wakes up, right? You cannot imagine you woke up and you went into the way. So you are going through al-shukr, wa-tawbah, wa-al-ikhlas, all of these stations, and then somehow you went back to sleep. You will always have yaqadha with you. You are always on heightened alert. You are always awake. This is something that you take it along with you. It's not just you go through it in the beginning and then it's okay, you can sleep now. It doesn't work like that. طيب. So then after that, he started talking about basically examples of something that he mentioned, the mistake in understanding those stations. الخطأ في فهم المقامات. This they did not mention explicitly here in the summary, and this is where sometimes the summary you could miss out on a lot of things. So for instance, he said وَلْنَذْكُرْ لِذَلِكَ أَمْثِلَةً. Let us mention examples for this. So you naturally would think examples for how the different stations will include other stations within them, which is true, but then he took it from the fact that some of those writers before, they divided those stations on the path to Allah. They divided the stations to stations for the awam and stations for the khawas. So awam, general folks, khawas, special folks, right? Elites, right? So this is in terms of the path to Allah. So he's not talking about the awam, general folks, the laymen. No, he's talking about those who decided to walk on this path to Allah. As I said, we can say, be more liberal in the terminology, and we say beginners, right? Beginners, a station for beginners, stations for beginners, and stations for those who are advanced, right? So he is criticized. He brought this from this Andalusi sheikh, Muslim Spain, Ibn Al-Arif rahimahullah, who mentioned this. And actually you will find this in other books. The famous work Ihya Ulum al-Din. You will find Tawheed al-Awam, the Tawheed of the beginners, the general folks, right? Those who just starting, those who are not deep into, what is their Tawheed? La ilaha illallah. Okay. What is the Tawheed of the Khawas then? Right? They go, La huwa illa huwa. Right? There is no he but he. Right? This is now, and then some of them will go even more now. The advanced people, super advanced, is not la huwa illa huwa, becomes huwa only. Some of you are laughing because I know, who. That's the thing they do, right? So, those, they claim that they got so much, dissolved in this, or they perished in this fana, that they just focus on him. There is nothing but him, So this is like, it ends up, as you see, into, we're smiling and laughing, but it's very sad and very, really crazy and insane. It led some people to, things that are horrible, right? So that's what he is discussing now. He said, وَلْنَذْكُرْ أَمْثِلَةً لِذَلِكَ. Let us mention examples for that. الْمِثَالُ الْأَوَّلِ الْإِرَادَةِ. The first example, he says, as you can see, so it's on the screen or no? Just needs to be turned on, that's all. Telling them not to turn it off from here, but
it's okay. We'll do it after.
it's already hooked up. It should show.
Oh, there you go.
طيب. So you can see on the screen. It says المثال الأول الإرادة. The first example is al-irada. Irada means what? To want, to will, to have a will, to have the determination, to have azima, to have azima, to determine, to wish, to will, to have the resolve, right? فإن الله جعلها من منازل صفوة عباده. Allah Azza wa Jal made it from the stations of the choicest, the chosen Safwa, the select, right? The purely selected people from his servants. وأمر رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم أن يصبر نفسه مع أهلها. He commanded his messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم to يصبر, to have himself be patient, right? Himself, to restrict himself with the people of irada, the people of will, right? The people of will. فقال سورة الكهف 28 واصبر نفسك مع الذين يدعون ربهم بالغداة والعشي. You should keep yourself patient, you restrict yourself, you be always around those who call upon their Lord morning and evening. يريدون وجهه, seeking his face سبحانه وتعالى. وقال تعالى سورة الليل 19 and 20 وما لأحد عنده من نعمة تجزى إلا ابتغاء وجه ربه الأعلى. And there is no one has a favor that he has done to him so that he will reward him for it. Right? So this one who's doing good, who is donating, who is being charitable, he's not doing it to pay back someone who has done him a favor. That's what the ayah is saying here. No one has done him a favor in a way that he's repaying him. He's only doing what he's doing إلا ابتغاء وجهه, except seeking the face of his Lord the Most High. Again, irada, right? وقال تعالى حكاية عن أوليائه. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, narrating from his allies, قولهم, that they say, أو قولهم, إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله. We only feed you for the sake of Allah, for Allah's face, for Allah's countenance, for Allah's countenance. Surah Al-Insan, ayah number 9. وهذه لام التعليل. This is the lam of the reason, the lam of the reasoning, the lam of the cause, right? الداخلة على الغايات المرادة, which is used when you have this lamb entered upon, right, you use it for the intended goals. وهي كثيرة في القرآن. And this is a lot in the Quran. This lamb here. إنما نطعمكم, we only feed you, لي, for the sake of, because of, right? لوجه الله, for the face of Allah. فالإرادة, once again here now, the will, the intention, the resolve, the sincerity, that's the word irada here, includes all of these meanings. You want, right? You want, you will. You are doing something for a reason. And that reason is seeking Allah's face, to please Allah. Right? فالإرادة هي مركب العبودية. Remember now, why is he talking here as an example? The author he's replying to, he said, Al-irada, oh, this is from the stations of the beginners. The station of the beginners, all of this praise is for them, and still is a station of the beginners. Yani the people who reach the end, what do they have? Yani? You wonder, huh? Right? فالإرادة هي مركب العبودية. He says this will, this intention, this sincerity, this resolve, this determination is the vehicle for عبودية, servitude and worship to Allah. وأساس بنائها الذي لا تقوم إلا عليه. This is the foundation of the building of the worship, the عبودية, which it will not stand, that building of worship will not stand except upon that foundation. Right? Your reason behind doing what you're doing, the reason behind the worship, right? That intention, that cause that led you to do that. فلا عبودية لمن لا إرادة له. The one who doesn't have that type of a will, desire to please Allah, then he will have no worship, no servitude. بل أكمل الخلق عبودية ومحبة وأصحهم حالا. Rather, the most perfect of the creation in terms of worship to Allah, servitude, and love, mahabba, and the ones of the servants of Allah who have the most sound, أصحهم أو أصحهم, the most sound spiritual condition, spiritual state. وأقومهم معرفة, those who are most steadfast, most straight in terms of knowledge, in terms of knowing Allah, they are actually أتمهم إرادة. They have the most perfect will, resolve, and determination. He said, والإرادة إنما تكون ناقصة بحسب نقصان المراد. This will only be deficient according to how deficient what you intend is. Right? فإذا كان مرادها أشرف المراد, should be أشرف المراد here. أشرف, if you want to fix it for those who printed the book, remove that alif. If the intent behind the person, his intent was the most noble of intentions, most noble of wants, most noble of desires, فإرادته أشرف الإرادات, then his will, his desire is the most noble of wills. Yani if you intend to please Allah, Allah is the most noble of what you would want, right? To please. So then your will here is the most noble of wills. ثم إذا كانت الوسيلة إليه أجل الوسائل وأنفعها, there is a ha missing there, you want to add it, not وأنفع, وأنفعها وأكملها فإرادتها كذلك. Then if the means to it, right, is the most noble of means, وأنفعها, most beneficial of means, وأكملها, most perfect of means, then إرادتها كذلك. The will and the intention is also greatest and most beneficial and most perfect. right? So the means is what? The ibadah, right? The one who is intended is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the best that you can intend to please. The means is worship, and this is from the most and the magnificent and greatest of the means. So the will then is also most magnificent, most beneficial, and most perfect and complete, inshallah ta'ala. طيب, we covered this summary of al-irada. Tomorrow maybe I'll just go through some brief points from the original so that we don't miss out on what he is discussing. So for instance, just one example, right? يعني he's saying within the reply, يعني if you have somebody, يعني two people, and they want to maybe get closer to a king, يعني, right? So one of them is saying, I want not to want anything, right? I want to vanish from my want, from my will, right? And I be the one who is wanted and willed, actually. And you will for me whatever you wish. The second one, he said, I want to spend all of my breaths, all of my time in things that you love, things that are pleasing to you. I want to spend my time carrying out your commands and orders, doing my very best in obeying you. I will be directed wherever you direct me. I do what you command me to do. This is what I want, right? So which one of the two will be the one who is like truly serving the king? Is he the one who wants to be wanted? He wants to vanish from everything. I just want you to do with me whatever you want. Or the other one who's saying, I actually want all my time, all my effort, everything within me to be directed towards you, to please you, and to fulfill all that you love. Right? Which one of them will be the one who is? Right? So this is now يعني, an example that he mentions here. Right? He mentions an example of the one who says, I love to die, so I will meet with you, O Allah. The other one, he says, actually I would love to stay so I can worship you more and more. And the third one who says, actually I would want and I would love what you love for me. You prefer for me to live, I want that. You prefer for me to die, I want that. Right? Which one of them is the one who has the right will? Right? Like this, these points that he's talking about. It was within the reply, but he puts those points yani, very nicely in there, just to differentiate between the correct understanding and the wrong understanding of the will. We'll stop here, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. We'll call the adhan and call the iqama right away, inshallah. After salah, we have the